There will be no criminal charges as a result of the Glasgow bin lorry crash, it has been confirmed. 6 people died and 10 more were injured when a council bin lorry crashed into pedestrians in Glasgow city centre on December 22. The Crown Office said there was no evidence that either the driver or city council was to blame for the accident. But it said a fatal accident inquiry, FAI, into the tragedy will be held as soon as possible. The next of kin of those who died have been informed of the decision not to bring a prosecution. The FAI will aim to determine the cause of the crash and establish what lessons can be learned. Earlier this month, Harry Clarke, the driver of the Glasgow City Council bin lorry, told the Daily Record newspaper that he had fallen unconscious at the wheel and could not remember anything about the crash. Mr. Clarke, 58, also said that he understood that bereaved families and those who were injured wanted answers about what exactly had happened. The bin lorry went out of control on Queen Street before crashing into the Millennium Hotel at George Square, close to the city's Queen Street rail station. Many of those who were struck by it had been out Christmas shopping. Police investigating the crash submitted their initial report to prosecutors at the end of January. The police report has now been considered by Crown Counsel, the most senior lawyers within the Crown Office. In a statement, the Crown Office said, Crown Counsel have concluded that the driver of the lorry should not be prosecuted in respect of this tragic incident. Despite its catastrophic consequences, there is no evidence to suggest that the driver's conduct at the time amounted to a breach of the criminal law. There is no evidence to support a prosecution of Glasgow City Council in respect of any health and safety concerns breaches in health and safety law. Crown Counsel have decided that a fatal accident inquiry should be held into the causes of this tragedy to ensure that there can be a full public hearing of the facts of the case. A spokesman for Glasgow City Council said, "We will provide any assistance that the inquiry needs." The 6 people who died in the crash were teacher Stephanie Tate, 29, from Glasgow, student Erin McQuaid, 18, and her grandparents Lorraine, 69, and Jack Sweeney, 68, from Dumbarton, West Dunbartonshire, tax worker Jacqueline Morton, 51, from Glasgow, and 52-year-old Gillian Ewing, from Edinburgh. Patrick Maguire, a partner with Thompson Solicitors which represents many of the victims, said the announcement of an FAI would begin the process of finding out what happened to cause this terrible accident, which is of the greatest importance to the victims and their relatives. He added, "My clients and I are particularly heartened that the Crown has moved so quickly towards convening a fatal accident inquiry. It has often been the case that years can pass before a FAI is set up, if indeed one is set up at all. This leads to further anguish to victims and their families. Therefore the Crown Office is to be commended for its swift action, which reflects the huge public concern about this accident."